The reason he focused so much on Gen Z was because they represented the future, an untapped well of potential. Mr. Ovie knew that the more destinies he collected, the more powerful he became, and the more influence he could wield over his community and even in politics. It was all a calculated game for him, and the events he threw were just a means to an end. Mr. Ovie's reach was far and wide, stretching beyond the usual gatherings of adults. He was a man who had a peculiar way of embedding himself into every part of the community, including the most innocent and unsuspecting ones, toddlers and the elderly. No one suspected the man in the sharply cut agbada, always smiling and with a hearty laugh, to be a person who would orchestrate such dark ceremonies at these vulnerable stages of life. It was around the time when toddlers started celebrating their first birthdays, and families would host grand parties to mark the occasion. Mr. Ovie knew how to blend into any environment. His presence at children's parties was nothing short of charming. He'd show up with gifts in hand, always offering the most extravagant presents, tricycles, toys, even expensive clothes for the little ones. He was the type of man who made people feel as though he had known them for years, always offering words of wisdom for new parents, advising them on raising their children, and making himself indispensable in the community. At these toddler parties, Mr. Ovie played the role of a trusted guest, someone everyone welcomed with open arms. Parents and relatives were often busy with food, music, and dancing, so it was easy to overlook him when he'd quietly slip away, his eyes scanning the room. Under the pretense of wanting to bless the children, Mr. Ovie would carefully orchestrate moments when the toddlers would be placed near food or toys, almost as though he was testing their innocence. It wasn't just about the toddlers. Mr. Ovie's ritualistic practices often involved creating an atmosphere where he could subtly manipulate the young, siphoning off their essence, something that took years to understand fully, but which, at the time, only felt like a strange, inexplicable unease. The toddlers, innocent and unaware, would often start acting out of character after these blessings, their energy drained, their personalities subdued in ways no child should be. The parents never suspected a thing.